Hey everybody, just back in the truck now, so I thought I'd make a quick video here. I've actually made several videos already and was going to post them, but then I thought, man, they're kind of crap, so I don't know if I want to post them. They're really just tangents, and I don't feel like you're going to get too much of a message out of those videos, so I think I'll remove or delete those ones and make this one. Not really sure what I'm trying to talk about, really. I mean, the world for me has been pretty hectic in the last few weeks. I mean, I've had people turn their backs on me. I've had people, not too happy with me. Other people are happy with me. I mean, I don't know if it's my own accord or my own doing. I really can't see what I've done, but okay, maybe I've pissed somebody off. Excuse my language here, but obviously I angered some people, and I'm sorry for that. I really am. I don't mean to hurt people's feelings, and I don't mean to bring people down. And I just know that if I, if I'm not keeping in communication with you, or I'm not talking to you a whole lot, it's nothing you've done, it's nothing I've done really. It's just that I'm busy, and I don't have a lot of time to sit and chat for hours on end with people. So, I'd like to be able to set up a time where I could do that, some time slots. I guess I kind of see where Howard Storm's coming from now, and different people I've reached out to why they can't really talk to me immediately because they're busy people, and finding time, slotting time in for people is a very difficult thing to do, I found, because at the end of a work day, at the end of a family day, at the end of whatever other day you might be having, studying, reading, whatever, you really don't have much time, maybe for some sleep if you're lucky. So again, I don't want people to feel like I'm offending them in any way, shape, or form by not reaching back to you or getting back to you right away. And my videos with Howard, I wouldn't say they're completely done, but I guess I'm pretty much saying that. Nothing, no hard feelings between Howard and I. We've never had a falling out. Just that he's too busy, and the guy's he's not 20 years old anymore. So I don't want to add to that man's stress by any way, shape, or form. So I'm just going to back off those videos for a bit. So I realized one thing, that most of you guys that came here to view these videos were for Howard, and I wouldn't have it any other way, really. I think that it's important for you guys to come and listen to a guy like Howard Storm. So my advice is just my advice. What I've learned from him, I can give back to other people. What I've learned from other people I've spoken with, I can give back to other people that want to hear it. But I think we all have a testimony. I think we all have a certain amount of advice, I guess, or at least testimony we can offer to other people, so that they can maybe make some sense out of their own testimony, or their own saving. Because once you've been saved, it's a very difficult thing to understand. It's like we worry so much about sin, we worry so much about separation from God, and we worry so much about offending people and hurting people's feelings and just being a bad person. We worry about that stuff, rightfully so, mind you. But I think the biggest thing to worry about is being saved. If you're saved, great. Now the fun begins, let's say, because being saved doesn't mean just sunshine, rainbows, butterflies, whatever, walking on the beach, sunny days. It don't mean that at all. It means that you got to put on your armor of God and get out there and get ready for battle, because the battle has just begun for the person that's been saved. Now, it's a great thing to be saved, but it's a difficult thing as well. So pray to God you'll be saved. Pray to God once you're saved, you will be able to fight for his kingdom. Stand up to the enemy. You get a lot of people out there that are going to be telling you that, one, maybe you're not saved. Two, what are you saved from? Three, why would God create us just to have to save us? What type of an ego trip is that? All that bullshit. Again, I'm sorry for cursing here, guys, but it's just who I am. I tend to drop the BS bomb every now and then, so I apologize for that if it bleeds your ears, because sometimes I hear other people saying profanities, and it bothers me, so why wouldn't it bother you? So I apologize for that. Forgive me for that. I'll try to monitor that a little better, but sometimes it slips out. Also, so being saved is something that I take great pride in. I think that I'm saved. Sometimes I look at myself in the mirror and I say, dude, you're not saved. You're not saved at all. If you're not willing to follow Jesus' commandments fully, listen to what he's saying, and do what he wants you to do, then you ain't saved, man. But that's the enemy speaking. Jesus Christ has entered my life. There's no doubt about that. And I'm not a perfect man by any means. Matter of fact, I think I'm very far from that. And but that's what being saved means. You start seeing your sinful nature. Like, look at the Apostle Paul when he talked about wanting to, the book of Romans, I believe it was, or many other parts of the New Testament. But he talked about wanting to do the things that he shouldn't do, and he has a struggle doing the things that he knows he should do. When he talks about being a wretched man, who will save me? Without being saved from Christ, you're not saved. Like being saved by Christ, you're not being saved, because we are wretched people. In the eyes of a holy God, you might be a saint on earth by human standards, but in heaven, you'd be less than less, if that's possible. But again, this isn't a personal attack on anybody's character. I'm just telling you how I view myself. If I was to die right now, I'm driving in a vehicle. Let's say I just automatically get smashed by another vehicle, or I get, take a stroke or a heart attack, or just, spontaneously combust, whatever. Let's just say I died right now, and I stand up at the gates of heaven, and I say to Jesus Christ, I tried my best on that planet, and I tried to follow you, and I wanted to be a part of your kingdom. I'm not sure if I'm ready for heaven. I'm not sure if I would be accepted into heaven by your standards, Christ. So you make the call. Am I allowed into heaven, or am I not allowed into heaven? Well, I believe he would say to me, no, you're not ready for heaven. I'm sorry. Either he'd send me back, or he'd send me off to hell. And rightfully so. I'm not, I don't think that Jesus Christ has ever once walked away from me. I think he's been walking towards me steady. But I believe I'm the one who's walked away from him in many cases, even to this day. I still turn my back on him sometimes, both intentionally and unintentionally. And I don't mean to. I feel great remorse for when I do certain things that I know I shouldn't do. And I find it brings me down. It makes me think to myself, wow, maybe I'm not saved. But then other times I say to Jesus Christ, I need you in my life. To me, just accepting Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, and letting him know that you are sorry for what you've done and you do need him in your life, that to me is at least a step towards being saved. So I feel like I'm on the right track, but at the same time I feel the track I'm on is a bendy, twisty one. So I'm hoping that I'm doing okay. But this isn't about me. This is about people that are struggling in the same areas that I'm struggling in. If you're feeling that way, ask yourself why. Ask yourself, what am I doing wrong? Like for me, when I say that I'd say to Jesus Christ, I've done everything, I've done my best on that planet, he'd be able to tell that I was bullshitting him. I haven't done my best. My best could be better. No, that's a lie. I have not done my best. My best could be much better than what it is right now. So maybe that's you too. Maybe you feel like you're doing your best, but deep down inside, in your little, your little spot in your heart, you could say, no, that's not my best. My best is better than that. For example, when I used to be a competitor in judo and jiu-jitsu and different things that I trained in, and like cage fighting and stuff, I used to go out there. I'd train hard. I would. And I'd go out and give it my all. After the match, whether I won or lost, because I've won lots and I've lost lots, all part of the game, I'd say to myself, I could have done better. I could have done better. And knowing deep down inside my own spirit, like my friends and my teammates would be like, oh man, you did awesome, you did the best you could. If I lost, I'd be like, no, I didn't do the best I could. Even the best I could might not necessarily win me the fight, but if you knew that you were holding back, you could have done a little extra more. You could have done, I could have trained a little harder. I could have ate better. I could have, practiced more. Could have understand the moves a little more. Maybe I could have done some research on my opponent. That's doing better. But I didn't do those things, initially. Sometimes I did, but ultimately I knew I didn't do my best. Great to hear that from your friends. You've done your best, but you didn't. That's what it's like when you're walking with Jesus Christ. Other people might see you as doing your best, but deep down inside yourself, you might know if you're doing your best or not. Now, to the person that is doing their absolute best, and their absolute best is all they can give, and it might not even by the human standard, it might not be that good. But if it is genuinely your best, God knows your heart, and God knows that you are trying. So you have a head start on the people like me. You have a head start on the people that might be classifying themselves as the next Billy Graham. If they're not doing their best, they're not doing their best. I feel it's 100% all in, or don't bother going in. It doesn't make sense to go into something unless you're 100% invested. So that's the same thing with your salvation in Jesus Christ. Make sure that you're giving it your 110%. 100% anyways. But don't let the enemy take you away from that. The enemy of God is literally the enemy of God. He is the one that is going to say to you, no, I don't want you to be with God, like he did with Job. He said, I'm going to show you that Job doesn't need to be with you. I'm going to show you that Corey can't be with you because he's a liar, manipulator, a failure, just like he did with Job. And God did not help Job. God did let Job get tempted, and God did all those things. And then he withheld himself from a righteous man like Job, and it's just like, why though, God? Why even play that game? Because to me, that's a game, playing with somebody's life like that. However, he's God the Creator. The enemy was trying to prove God wrong. If you read that book and you understand that book, you'll understand that God did not separate from Job. He did not leave Job alone. He defended Job. He said to Satan, have you considered my servant Job? Satan, of course, being the enemy of God, said, yeah, but he's only your servant because of all the shit you give him. And God said, okay, then go and do this, and let's see. And to Satan's utter amazement, and my utter amazement to this day when I read that book, I can't believe that he didn't fail. He did not fail. With all the turmoil that man went through, he did not fail. He stayed true to God, and God did defend him. God never left him. God said, okay, finally at the end, you wanted to see me? Here I am. Now let's talk. And Job realized after, God didn't really tell him why he done what he done, but he did say, I created the heavens and the earth. I've created everything. I know better than you. And that's just the bottom line. I know better than you. You don't know why I do what I do. And just have faith that I do it for for humanity, for the better of people. Job accepted that humbly. After the shit that he went through, he accepted that humbly. And he had a better life. And the devil was proven wrong. And God defended. He came to the defense of Job, saying, no, Job's not like that because I give him everything. Job doesn't just love me for this reason or that reason. He just has a genuine heart for me. And that's what we as human beings and Christians need to strive for. Having that genuine heart. When you're faced with turmoil, whether it be to the severity that he went through or even just little turmoil, understand that God's not against you. He hasn't turned his back on you. He's not walked away from you. He loves you. I mean, my God, I don't know how many other ways you could hear this or how many other ways I could say it. But Jesus Christ died a death that you and I couldn't even imagine to save us from ourselves, from what we've done, to go against him, to show him how much we don't really care what he wants from us. He saved us from that. If you can't understand that, then you have to dig down deep. I'd like to say some more things here that could be really stabbing to the human soul, but I don't want to do that because it's not gonna help you. But what I'm saying is, you have to look inside yourself. If you're sitting here watching this video and you're laughing at me and you're thinking, oh, whatever, the magic man in the sky, bullshit, you have a problem. That's the enemy of God that's in your heart. You're not serving God Almighty. You're serving the enemy, not Almighty. So I think I'm going to stay on the Almighty team. You can be on the not Almighty team, but I'm going to be on Almighty team, meaning I'm going to be on the winning team, like I would have done in any sport I ever joined or any competition I was ever in. I want to be on the winning team. There's going to be some battles we lose, like any competition, but ultimately you're going to win your battle when you stand in the gates of heaven. Jesus Christ says, welcome to my kingdom, good and faithful servant. Even with all your flaws, all the baggage, all the sin, all the filth you're going to be carrying with you, because you tried and you showed him a genuine heart, you're going to go to heaven. If you think you're going to buy your way into heaven, or you think you're going to lie your way into heaven, whatever, don't even bother trying to go up to the gates of heaven, because it's not going to work. So that's just a stone cold reality. And I hope that that's not you. I hope that that's I hope you can take something from this message I'm giving. I hope that you can say to yourself, maybe I should look at myself a little more. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this or that or the other thing. Maybe I should turn my face towards Jesus Christ a little bit and let him open up my life and let him touch my heart the way he's touched Corey Oto's heart, the way he's touched Howard Storm's heart, the way he's touched everybody else's heart that he's touched. Maybe I'm the one who's holding them back. The common denominator is not Jesus leaving me, it's me leaving Jesus. So I hope that message helps. If you ever want to talk to me, you ever want to get a lifeline to people like Howard Storm, I use him as my example every time, because he's the only guy I really spent some time with to get to know, that I can say without doubt that he's a man of God. He's not the opposite of that. He says some stuff I didn't really wouldn't say I didn't, well, I did initially disagree with, but as I got to know the guy a little more and actually understood what he meant, I realized he's not full of it. He knows what he's talking about. So, but if you ever want to talk to me, you reach out to me and I'll call you on the phone. I'll Zoom with you. I'll email you. I'll text you, whatever. Just that's how we have to help each other in the body of Christ. So God bless everybody, and I'll talk to you again.